Hello everyone, this is Jeremy, part of Team 54, also known as Something Good, and I'm here to you today with the Automated Travel Coordinator. Now, the entire goal of the Automated Travel Coordinator was to cater to RSOs on UIUC campus. As a former member of RSO, I understand that most of them are not well funded enough to be able to have the school provide travel arrangements to the various events, sports related activities that they have to travel to. So most teams actually will just go through a process of manually filling out forms and then having someone manually allocate each member to each vehicle that's available, which is pretty much in every case each team member's vehicle. And that's where this application comes in. This application allows you to insert riders and drivers, as well as the organization and sub-team you're a part of, and be able to match you with the available drivers from your organization, and be able to match you by not only just your sub-team, but also rider preference, size of car, and on top of that, it can also provide a very easy way to see the fuel efficiency as well as the destinations that your team may be going to. So here we are with the home screen, which provides our first advanced function, and this function is mainly basically having dynamic events that allows you to not only see the map and distance, but for each available car for part of your organization or a team, it'll be able to tell you the seats as well as the combined mileage and estimated fuel cost. These are pulled through various APIs and required several various calls of parsing. It's required to parse several calls, and thus made it a little harder and more challenging than just the average basic function, as so much parsing of the different calls and the different things you needed were required to get it, as well as the JavaScript on the page getting it to be dynamic. So for example, here we have the track team that we're working with, and they have, as you can see, 6 vehicles with a default fuel cost of $3.50, but the dynamic portion comes in when you click the event, in which you see not only the fuel cost change, but also I can see from here, from Siebel to the destination, the distance as well as the available routes that one would be able to take, as you can see. And this is dynamically based on all of them. And so from here to St. Louis, as well as from one right in our hometown, which obviously would have a very low fuel cost and distance to travel and not very many routes. But yes, moving on here, we have the insert page, which this is really the beginning of everything. You're allowed to pick an organization or, of course, add a new one. But for this case, we'll just go with track. Let's say we're on the sprint team, and yeah, in blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 0. Sectionals rider, and of course you can see with this you can put in a driver, which allows you to put your car, which will take the make, model, and year, as well as the number of seats. Or as a rider, you can choose from the available drivers to have a driver preference. In this case, we'll select no preference and just hit submit, and you'll be able to see it later. So with this, you can also remove by person, and which will also delete the driver, as well as update a person's record. These names are case sensitive, so it helps to put exact syntax. But the bulk goes into the match function, which as you can see here, gives you a list of cars as well as their driver and the passengers already allocated. All of the allocation is done in the back end, so you won't actually be able to see it, but it could show you pretty much everyone is matched. As you can see, everyone has a phone number, distancing. They try to put mainly sprint people together with mainly distance, or mainly distance people together. And some of these members obviously had a ride preference that's not currently shown, but yes, it's very similar. And so yeah, and it also will show, that all people are matched. If we were to add too many people, it would show that we are unmatched. And here, of course, we can show events. Just a quick explanation of our second advanced function, which would be the matching process. This was found to be more difficult as it had to go through all of the possible combinations, and also there's a lot of presets with it being driver preference, preference for teams, as well as just size of car. And so there will be cases in which a user will not be matched to a car if there are not enough drivers. And so we feel that this was an excellent application that had many practical uses, especially for a lot of RSOs currently available. And we hope that you enjoyed this demo, and hope you're enjoying CS411. Thank you, and goodbye from Team 54, Something Good.